Today, we are jacking into a project that wants to turn your web browser into a literal battlefield. And no, this isn't just a story. It's a world where your actions online can make you a legend, or, a target. We're talking about a completely new way to think about entertainment.
I mean, just think about that for a second. What if the line between what you're browsing and a high-stakes cyber thriller just vanished? What if every single click you made had real consequences and a story the whole world was watching? Well, this project is called Control Zero, and it's built on that exact radical idea. It's not just a game, it's not just a comic. It's an alternate reality that's layered right on top of our own. As that tagline says, cyber is about to get very, very real. And the sheer scale of their ambition is what really sets this apart. I mean, this quote from the project's pitch just lays it all out there. They're not just making a game, they're inviting all of us to hack the planet. So, how in the world does that actually work? Okay, first up, let's talk about the story. Because before you can hack a world, you need a really good reason to do it, right? Every great universe has to start with a compelling narrative. So the whole thing kicks off with this genius hacker who creates a virus called Control Zero. He uses it to pull off this absolutely massive heist, but this one single act spirals completely out of control. It starts hijacking money transactions all over the world and threatens the entire global economy. It's a classic cyber noir setup, but with unbelievably high stakes. And, in a world that's been thrown into chaos by a single piece of code, new powers start to emerge. And in this world, everyone has to pick a side. So as a player, you get dropped right into the middle of this power struggle. And the big question is, who would you be? Would you join Sidefeth, the sort of global defense force trying to keep the peace? Or maybe you'd go with Verbus, the cybercrime syndicate that's all about pure profit. Or would you align with the Entropy Syndicate, the anarchist hackers who just want to burn the old system to the ground and build something new? Your choice here. It determines everything. All right, so how does this story jump from a cool idea into something you can actually play? This is where Control Zero completely breaks the mold. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to infect and capture real websites. And I mean real. This isn't some made-up fantasy map. It's a game layer built over the actual web. You're fighting for digital control of the sites you visit every day, trying to expand your faction's territory and become an absolute legend of the Darknet. And this right here maps out your whole rise to power. You start out as a nobody, just learning the ropes. Then you start building your network, taking over sites. But you're not alone out there. Rival players are going to attack you, and you'll have to fight back to defend your turf. But if you gain enough power and you lead enough attacks, your in-game actions could literally make you an official character in the story itself. You become canon. How cool is that? And this is what it actually looks like. It's not a separate program or app you have to download. It's a browser extension that just lays the game right over the internet. Those pop-ups, the dashboards, it's all happening right there on the sites you're already visiting, turning your daily browsing into a full-on digital Cold War. But here's the thing. The game is just one piece of this massive puzzle. And this brings us to its core design, which is all about transmedia. See, Control Zero isn't just a game. It's an entire ecosystem designed to completely blur the lines between different kinds of media. So what even is transmedia? Well, put simply, it's when a story isn't just contained in one box. It bleeds across different platforms. For Control Zero, the story, the game, and the real-world internet all intersect, and your actions create these ripple effects across every single one of them. This diagram shows exactly how that architecture works. And you'll notice, you, the player, are at the absolute center of this universe. The battles you win in the game directly influence the power dynamics, and you'll see that reflected in the story told through the comics. But then, it comes back around. Characters from the comics might reach out to you to give you new missions back in the game. It's this constant, living, breathing feedback loop. Yeah, these animated comics are absolutely crucial. They're not just telling some static backstory that you read once and forget. Their narrative actually changes based on which faction is winning in the game. If the Entropy Syndicate pulls off some huge coordinated attack, you're going to see the consequences of that play out in the next comic issue. And, like we mentioned, the best players can actually get written into the story, becoming a permanent part of the lore. Now, this incredibly deep level of player interaction, it leads to a truly revolutionary idea, which brings us to our final section, Web 3. Because this project isn't just changing how stories are told, it's changing who gets to own them.
Okay, so at its core, Control Zero uses blockchain technology. Now, don't worry about the jargon, just think of it like a global, unhackable notebook. It creates a permanent, public record, a ledger, that proves who owns what inside the game. And since no single person or company controls this ledger, your ownership is absolute. And that is the foundation for true player ownership.
So, what does that actually mean for you? Well, it means all those hours you put in have tangible value. The websites you conquer become digital assets, NFTs that you truly own. You can trade them for cryptocurrency. Your in game reputation is verifiably 100% yours. The victories you achieve in the game, they're not just for bragging rights anymore. They can have real world worth.
And all of this leaves us with a pretty fascinating question, doesn't it? A project like Control Zero is a glimpse into a future where fans don't just consume stories. They build them, they shape them, and they own them. The line between creator and audience is just dissolving. So the real question isn't just what comes next, but what role are you going to play in it?